Ready to learn all about Girdwood, Alaska? Let's go. So we're looking at the great state of Alaska now. I'm going to zoom right in here and bring our screen right on down to the little town. You see it's already popping up of Girdwood and Alyeska Resort. So this is where Anchorage comes to play. It is the way we like to look at this. A lot of great stuff that goes on in Girdwood. One of the things that's really important to note, as you can see on the map, is Alyeska Resort is right here. Not only is it a great place to stay, great facilities, but it is a true destination when it comes to both skiing, downhill skiing, as well as mountain biking in the summer. It is home to a few Olympians as well. So something to think about when it comes to visiting Alyeska and Girdwood as we look at things today. So this is a real quick look at the city from the upper view. You'll note that the highway coming down from Anchorage is right here. Highway 1 coming all the way into Girdwood. And it's important that you know that about the Seward Highway and Girdwood is because Girdwood is considered a neighborhood by many sites. It is in part it's its own town, but it is part of the Anchorage municipality. So while it is separate, it is also connected to Anchorage. I mentioned Girdwood is a neighborhood, but we're going to treat it as a town because it is very separated from Anchorage, and it has its own flair to it in and of itself. So we're going to look at this as one of the towns of Alaska. It really is kind of that way when you look at it. So Girdwood, as a neighborhood, as a subdivision, when it comes to looking at some of the ratings at niche.com, Girdwood gets an A-. Looking at it, its public schools get an A. Housing is a B-. It's good for families, got an A there. Crime and safety, everything related to Anchorage, it really is related to this one. Nightlife is an A- and a B- when it comes to diversity, when it comes to that. And we'll look a little bit more into that in detail. As we look at the population, we're just around 1,800 to 2,000, depending on where you look. Real estate, when it comes to Girdwood, we're looking at the really high end. As you can see, it's at 577,000 and going up from there. So you can really get anything that you want on the high end for sure, as it's a really expensive place to live. Median rent is just over 1,000. So, are you interested in buying or selling real estate this year in Alaska? Well, send me a message at either the number or the email down below, and I'll be here to help you in that process. Our team at Better Homes and Gardens specializes in helping people make their dreams a reality here in Alaska. Looking at Girdwood rankings as well at niche.com as far as neighborhoods to raise a family is number 6 out of 30 in the Anchorage area. Best neighborhoods to live in Anchorage is number 7 out of 30 neighborhoods. And as far as a neighborhood for young professionals, it's number 14 of 30. Girdwood is, as a neighborhood, its diversity is kind of limited. We get a B- there as we look at that on the scale. The median household income is up in compared compared to the national average of just over 75,000. Girdwood is over 110,000. And if you look at the education level, it is compared to the national average. The education of those in Girdwood are at the high end. Families with children, about a quarter of the folks in Girdwood have children. A couple of different websites I like to use to give you some of the information about the area. Dwellix is one of those, trying to get all the demographics together, things kind of shift and change depending on how things are going and when people are promoting data. So as we look at Dwellix, we're jumping over from niche.com. A couple of things to make note of. Median household income is a little bit less, but it's 98,000. So still, we're talking way above the national average. Annual precipitation gives you an idea of how much we get a year. This year, it is, the date's going to be on here regardless, it's 2024, and Anchorage has gotten record snowfall. We're over 100 inches now, so it's crazy right now. We're kind of high as far as that goes. People living in Girdwood, again, this is what I said earlier, I think it was around 1900. We're looking at 2000 here. Distance from the airport, again, this is important. This is really, Girdwood is a neighborhood of Anchorage in the municipality, in the borough, and connected to the municipality of Anchorage. And so you are 27 miles from the Anchorage airport. That's the airport you're going to use to fly out of the state. So important to kind of know about when it comes to that. Dwellix goes into a good bit more detail now than I remember it doing when I first started doing these videos and using Dwellix as I look at different things. So this is really a great little site, and I recommend it. Cost of living compared to outside in lower 48, cost of living compared to Alaska, and median household income, it's all high in Girdwood. Getting a quick look behind the numbers of what we normally look at when it comes to crime and schools and real estate is understanding who makes up Girdwood. And I really like this. If you know my past history and my background as a pastor, I'm still ordained and helping out other clergy when I can, is looking at the community itself and their views, religion, and the makeup, as well as the age groups. And you can see population over 2,000, political views predominantly Democratic, top religion is Protestant, and the age group that's the largest is 25 to 44. As we kind of scroll down, we get a little bit more details into what Girdwood looks like. There are more singles in Girdwood than married couples. Interesting statistic to look at. Our age group breakdown as to how Girdwood is broken out based on ages. So you can sit there and see, but really between 25 and 64 is the largest segment of population that currently calls Girdwood home. There is not a great deal of racial diversity, though it is similar to the state of Alaska in many ways. But predominantly whites make up the community in Girdwood. Religions predominantly Protestant and Catholic, though there are not very many churches in the Girdwood neighborhood. If you're looking for work in the Girdwood area, this gives a real good breakdown of the top industries and the breakdown as to how things are broken out. Recreation, as you can imagine, is really right there at the top. Right next to that is the education and healthcare. There is a clinic that is available for folks there and social assistance. But then also the resort is a big part of the draw to that area of Girdwood. As always, I recommend folks, as they're wanting to learn more about the communities of Alaska and anywhere, is to go to the local Chamber of Commerce and visit Girdwood.com is the webpage that we're sitting on right now. And it has a lot of great features that you can check out. As I said, there it is where Alaska comes to play. Girdwood is right there in right below Anchorage, so a big part of things. You can learn all about the different activities, places to eat and shop, which I hadn't even got into. Love going down here. There's some great restaurants that we love to go to, and I'm just going to name a couple that you'll find on here. The Sitzmark is an outstanding one. I love Chair 5. The Double Muskie is world renowned in terms of its fare, and that's not the only one. In fact, there's a lot of restaurants that have opened up recently. When you go to Alyeska Resort, 7 glaciers at the top, where you actually get to come up and eat and view 7 glaciers from that vantage point. It's pretty amazing. So just a few of the things that are there and available to do. Girdwood has a tremendous amount. The Wildlife Center is not far, as is Bird Creek, and the mine that's at Crow Creek is a great place to take kids and kind of relive some of the mining days of this area. And important aspects, as I said, the Alyeska Highway is a big part of this. A lot of great places to look out at the Turnagain Arm, great places to get pictures. There's also some different videos that are live feeds here that you can find about as well. So make sure you go to visitgirdwood.com to learn more about the many things that you can do when you go visit Girdwood. And when you're planning, if you're planning to move there, it's a great site to go check out and learn more and get involved in the community.
Thanks for joining me on this little tour of Girdwood, Alaska. If there are questions or comments that you might have, make sure you leave them down in the section below, or use the phone number or the email and give me a call or message me, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. If there's other stuff that you'd like to know about Girdwood, let me know, and I'll be happy to help in any way I can. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and whack that bell icon like we do salmon every summer, and check out the videos that are coming up next that might be of help to you as you consider living in Alaska.